What's up, Pit Crew? Welcome back to the nation. Welcome back from our hiatus. As promised, we're going to start off with interior trim for the Pit Crew Skyline. So without any hesitation or delay, let's get into it. All right. So we're starting off with taking apart the center console. First thing you gotta do is take off these knee pads right here. They just pull up. It's very, very easy to do. Just make sure you don't lose any of these metal clips. Like, apparently I'm missing one back here. Prime example. Who knows where that little guy went? But we'll find him later. And driver's side is a little bit more difficult. Let me grab a trim removal tool. Go. Whoa. Aha. Open up the armrest here. Okay. All right. So next is this piece to come out. It also just pulls up. Go. Okay. As you can see, there's one little screw down here. Get my fat finger out of the way. That's on both sides, and that'll remove the trim along the climate control buttons and the vents. And then they just pop out. You do want to be kind of careful. As you just saw, they do bend and flex really easy, and I don't want it to break. So I'm going to go ahead and use the trim removal tool right in the center, and work it up top. And there we go. Just slides right out. Same on this side. And it's out. Next up is the door card. To remove this, you've got a little panel behind the door handle, a little panel down in here. Use your trim removal tool to pop them out of place. You can tell I've done this once or twice already. Once those are out of place, before you put this guy down, go ahead and remove this rubber bumper. You just have to get the tool in behind it, give it a twist and a pull, it'll come right out. Then, after that, you've got a 10mm bolt in here and a Phillips screwdriver down here. Oops. Now that little screw does not like to stick to my bits, so I grabbed some needle nose just to extract it. There we go. Back to the trim removal tool. There's a little gap underneath the door card, right down here. Get your tool in there and pry the bottom of the door card away from the door. You need to go all the way around. There we go. Okay. So now you've got two cables here, one for the lock, one for the door handle itself, and then various plugs. The cables are easy enough to detach. And the plugs aren't too bad either. Now the door card's off. We move on to the other three. Now, it's not going to hurt anything to close this door. If you are worried about it, you can always roll the window down, but it'll be fine. Oh, trim removal tool. Can't leave that. All right. The only difference between the front door cards and the rear door cards is this little grommet right here. And all it really is just to finish around the child safety lock. But if you forget about it, it'll fly across the garage and you may have a hard time finding it. Ask me how I know. Okay, now, before we go any further, so we don't lose anything, I've got Ziploc baggies and a permanent marker here. We're just gonna mark what hardware goes to which door card. So, on to disassembling the individual pieces. We'll start off by disassembling these. There's a screw in the back here and on the side here. Just run those out real quick. So now these three pieces, totally disassembled. Oh, almost. Now, they're totally disassembled. Start off with the rear passenger door card. To remove the trim, you've got looks like 9 Phillips head. Now, if you can't get the trim out, which, I mean, obviously all you really have to do is let the top lean out and catch it. But if you do find that you're struggling, you need to take the back of the door handle off anyway. It's just 2 Phillips screws, run them out. Now, you've got a little clip right here. You just pull that away from the shiny bit, and boom, this one's ready to work on. And of course, the front door cards, they come apart the exact same way. Got myself a little chai tea. It's a little cold out today. So, if you watched my last video, you will recall that I said that I attempted this before and the results were horrific. And because of that, I can't show you the removal of the aluminum trim because it's no longer here. But, as promised, I will discuss it with you. For the door pieces, the aluminum trim was actually wrapped around and crimped onto the back all along the edges. So I had to use a paint scraper to wedge between the plastic and the aluminum and kind of work that edge up. And once I got it worked up, I was able to actually slide the aluminum right off of these. The center console pieces were more difficult. The aluminum had tabs on it, like right here. There was one there was one here, one down here, etc. And I had to bend those tabs up, cut away a little bit of what I believe to be felt to release those tabs. And then there is a very, very sticky double-sided tape that I had to hit it for about a second or two with a heat gun so that I could actually soften up the adhesive, get my paint scraper again between the plastic and the aluminum, and work it up. Now, as I was doing this, these pieces, I was able to get them off cleanly. These pieces, they got mangled. So there was no going back. So we have no choice but to persevere. Now, since I mentioned that the results were less than desirable, let me grab a piece. Well, grab a few pieces, I guess. These were the door pieces. And they, at first they didn't look too bad. They're very rough around the edges. As you can see, removing them didn't make them any better, but it didn't really make them any worse. There are some gaps in here between the door handle and the carbon fiber piece. And I also didn't use enough resin. So the texture of the weave came through, which I don't know how well you can see it, but it kind of makes it look like fish scales. So there were quite a few mistakes made. So in our next video, we will be attempting to rectify those mistakes. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked this video, if you learned something today, hit that like and subscribe. Share this video, leave a comment, tell a friend. Come back often for new episodes.